Hello there, I'm the base manager and welcome back to Space Engineers. I was going to say oxygen not included, but I stopped myself in time. Now, today we are going to do something a little bit different. While in the previous episode we made this beautiful thing that we have over here, the Firefly, which is going to be very helpful to us. Today we have to do another thing. We have to go and expand our drill system. And in order to do that, first we must fully extend the drill. But I want to do one thing first, so let me use build vision to do that. I want to make sure that this is set up to 0 degrees. We give it a negative velocity. I want to make sure that this is completely as straight as it can be. And well, it's close enough. It's close enough. Not exactly something terrible. So first we are going to extend our pistons, and I want everything to be turned on. This is the rotor head, so this is the pistons. We press this one. This one pushes the pistons down. So we have to wait for this thing to be completely extended. Okay, so now that we have the pistons completely extended, we first must stop the rotor head. So this is drill head, rotor lock on off. Toggle that, and then toggle block on off. So we want to lock the drill in place. Really? Okay. Let's try that again, I suppose. This is toggle block on off, which means, you know. Why ain't you doing what I told you to do? This one should be off with the rotor lock on. And yes, that seems to be the case. Yeah, that thing is... trying to make me look bad. I see what you're trying to do, game. Stop it. In any case, second thing that we are going to do, we are going to stop the drills, and now we are going to fall in here. Gently, of course, very gently, and we are going to have to do some maneuvers, some building maneuvers. So, let me see, where is the thing that I'm looking for? Here it is. Here. This one is quite big. Maybe not this one. Magnetic plate. There we go. Can you attach to that side, please? No, because I need a steel plate to build it. It should be more than enough. Okay, so the idea here is quite simple. We are going to build either a magnetic plate or a landing gear, something that can stick to other things, right? And then, once this one is built, we are going to build like a block around here somewhere, in close proximity, like probably we are going to need a half block or something over here. I believe it is in 7 that we have those half blocks. Here it is. Come on, rotate to the correct side, and I'm unable to put it in place. Some maneuvering around here is going to be necessary, but in any case, we are going to put something in range of that magnetic plate, and then we are going to lock the magnetic plate to that block, and after the drill is secured to the voxel, we can detach the piston head over here, retract the piston, and add more pistons in the distance that we have between, you know, the piston place and the drill head. And to the last piston, we just remove the piston head, extend 2 of them, or as many as it is necessary until everything is lined up, and then we attach the piston head that is attached to the rotor over here to the, you know, piston that has no head on it. And in theory, if we do this, we should be able to expand the amount of pistons that we have over here without grinding down anything. There we go. So pretty much what I did was I put these 3 light armor blocks, right? As we can see, at least one of them is attaching to the voxel. This thing is not 100% lined up, but hey, we got a green signal, so we go over here. And we go over here and we do nothing, because this is already attached. If we want, we can detach it in the future by going over here and toggle block by doing the toggle block off, right? But right now we don't want to do that. The lock is already locked, we can see over there. Everything is fine, so now we can detach the piston head over here. So let me save the game first. Let me save the game. Just in case something explodes. We never know, right? We never know. Sometimes things tend to explode, and this is kinda... Okay, it is detached. So now we go over here. And we retract the pistons. By the way, guys, as you can see on the bottom left screen, the bottom left part of the screen, I built myself another hydrogen bottle because we are going to be using the jetpack a lot. And I detached the wrong thing. God damn it. I detached the rotor instead of the piston part. I wanted to detach this piston part, not that. So let's fix that quickly without banging the head against the thingy. What we are going to do, pretty much we are going to simulate what we are going to do in the future, right? Let me just expand this. Because, you know, nothing moved. Everything should line up perfectly. Okay, so here we go, final moment, where everything lines up perfectly, or at least that's what we are going to assume to be the case, and it should stop in the perfect place. There we go, it is stopped. We go over here, we attach, everything is attached. So now, that's not what we want this piston apart. Okay, game? Piston. Oh, Jesus. This is the thingy. Piston part, not rotor part. Piston part. Why do I think you have detached again the... Well, whatever, if that's the case, if we have to deconstruct the rotor, oh well. It's not the worst thing in the world. Let's take a look. Yeah, it was the piston, the rotor part that got detached, not the piston head. Oh well, we have to grind down one thing, guys. Wow, the troubles and tribulations that I will have to go through to rebuild a advanced rotor. I don't think I can recover. Oh well. Okay, guys, so now that this is completely retracted, we'll have to grind this one down. Oh my god, it's... Wow, I don't think we are going to financially recover from this. I'm joking, by the way, guys, it's like nothing. It's very, very easy to do. Pretty much what we are going to do, we are going to add at least 2 additional pistons, but I think we have the space to add the 3rd one. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. We'll only have to extend a little bit this down. Yeah, I think it is perfect. Now let's add the rotor. And it is an advanced rotor, and someone is calling me, so please give me a moment. So, as I was saying, now we build the rotor. We grind down the this part over here, because we don't need it. It's already over there, it's already built. And now we put everything in the build planner. And, well, I think you can guess what happens next. Okay, so with everything welded, our job is not yet done, because we added 3 additional pistons that are not grouped up yet with our existing pistons. So let me just do one thing quickly. I need to rename this piston, make sure not this one, right? So I know all the pistons that we have to group up. Let's go over here. We do it like this, iron pistons, right? And we group all of them that are not this one. There we go. Now, we need to make sure that the pistons are actually set up properly. So pretty much I'm just going to copy these settings into the other pistons. Okay, so with all the pistons renamed and their values set to the same as the other ones, the only value that I changed was the velocity. Well, I cannot show you in build vision, but I halved from 0.1 to to 0.05. The reason for that is you have to remember that every single piston is going at the same velocity. If you have some more pistons, you have to add all the velocities together to get your final velocity, right? So if you have two pistons at 0.1, you actually have 0.2 at and by having 5 pistons at 0.5, I actually have 2.5, so it's not that much of a difference, right? But we are not going to extend all the pistons at the same time. Actually, right now, what we are going to do, we are going to have to do something very... this is the risky part of doing things this way. But what we are going to do, in fact, I'm even going to access you through here so that I can make sure that we are going to do this 1 meter at a time. Okay, so we are going to set this one to a maximum distance of 1 meter, and we are going to reverse it. This thing is going to start, is going to extend just very slowly, and we are going to go 1 meter at a time until we got a perfect lineup and we can attach the drill to, not the drill, goddammit, the rotor to the rotor head. It pays to do this part slowly so that you don't explode anything. Yeah, just, well, that's not the value I want, it's this one. So, you know, in order to spare you the looking at grass grow part, just give me a moment. And there we go. I believe this is going to be the final extension. I have set up to 4 meter, maybe 4.5. Let's go for 4.5. It's still not exactly in the correct place. So it goes, no, 4.5. I've been doing half a meter at a time, and I think this is going to be just perfect. And I'm still confident because we... there we go. The strength that the piston is exerting is not that much, so if we... Okay, let me just finish explaining that thing first. If we push the piston too much, because the piston is not exerting too much strength, it would not explode anything, or at least that's what I'm thinking. Now, the second part is, I have to be very careful while I do this, because if there is the slightest misalignment, things are going to start clanging up. So, 3, 2, 1, attached. Okay, there is no clang. Fantastic! There we go. So now we have 30 additional meters of expansion that this drill can perform, and I am pretty happy with it. Now, the time has come to start to release the drill, and once again, things might... No, don't fall over there. And things might clang up a little bit, but there we go, see? Just a little bit. Nothing too much. And, well, with this done, we can remove the magnetic plate carefully. There we go. And we can return on the drill and set it off to get us more stuff. There we go. So now we know how to expand this drill if there is a need to do so in the future. But, the satisfying part now is drill head on. Are those on? Yes, there is a lot of wobbling. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the share inertia thingy on. So let me search for iron pistons. Are they all with share inertia? There we go. Perfect. There is a tad bit of clanging, but oh well. Oh yeah, of course activation failed. I grinded down the rotor. And I forgot to rename this one, so I have to go over here. Sorry guys, sorry. Advanced rotor, drill head. Oh yeah, the values are all messed up now. I have to reset up the values once again. I believe it was 8 RPM that we had on that thing, so advanced rotor drill head. For now we want it to be on rotor lock. Torque, don't know. Oh no, I don't remember what I had, so we are going to leave it something around There. And we are going to set up to 8 RPMs. And hopefully nothing is going to explode. Let's go. Uh-huh. Perfect. And now the final part, which is piston activation. There we go. And just to make sure that everything is going according to plan, let's come over here where we can have a closer look. Please remove your tool from your hand. And voila! Hopefully with this setup we will be able to hit the iron deposit now. If not, oh well. More drills! More drills! We can add... not more drills, more pistons. We can add as many pistons as we want. And as we can see, the pistons are doing precisely what we want, which is to stop drilling when there is the slightest blockage in our path. Perfect! Now it is time for me to build more storage thingies, because definitely the storage that we have is not going to be sufficient. So now, give me a moment while I expand my storage a little bit. I think I'm going to add... what do I need? Interior plates. I think I have a couple of those. Yes, I do. I'm going to add a couple of storage containers over here. Now guys, the piston drill might be complete, but we cannot stop in there. Oh no, we can't. Now that we are gonna have a higher income of materials coming through our base production, we should use some of those materials to build a mining truck. We have like a good deposit of ores over there with some cobalt, nickel and more iron. I mean, we could... it's not the worst path over there ever, so if we build a decent enough truck, we might be able to you know, drive from our base to there and from there to our base without too many issues. So, you know what, I think I might just try to work on that today, but let's try to make it quicker than it was to build the Firefly. I don't want to be spending, you know, 4 hours just welding stuff up. So, yeah. Let's try to make it quicker. Okay, so now let me just expand this platform a little bit. After all, this is going to be the place where we are going to build the truck, so it probably is a good idea to connect it with a place where we can drive off said truck. But before we start building anything, I'm going to build one thing first. We need one of these. We definitely could use an H2O2 generator. Because I'm tired of going back and forward between here and the survival kit to recharge my hydrogen. Why do that when we can simply recharge our hydrogen in base? You know what, guys? I am putting this platform down and I'm thinking to myself, what kind of truck do I really want to do? Because, you know what, like a mining vehicle is not exactly a easy thing to do, in the sense that they are hard to control, the elevation that you are drilling, and sometimes you end up with really steep inclinations of which you cannot return. Not exactly ideal. If you build a rover with the drills on the front, which tends to be the easiest approach. However, there is another thing that we could do technically. Here I was telling you I don't feel like be here welding for 4 hours, and then I think to myself, it would not be a better idea to build a large grid vehicle with a piston drill on top of it. Instead of having the drills pointing forward, we would have like landing gears to lock ourselves into the ground, and then we would have a crane of sorts. Low. Okay, game. We would have a crane of sorts that would control a piston drill, that would drill straight into the floor and get the materials that we want. I have to think about it for a little while. Both of these methods have pros and cons, and I need to weigh them carefully. Okay guys, so I thought about it a little bit and I think I have come up with an hybrid decision. We are going to build a small grid vehicle, not a large grid one, and the reason for that is, well, look at the price of each one of these light armor blocks. It's 25 plates for one block. That's a lot. That's way too much metal, and I don't really feel like being mining for 5 hours to have all the metal that we are going to need for a large grid vehicle. So we are going to build a small grid vehicle with a hinge system that is going to allow us to move the drills up and down, which should, in theory, help us adjust the sanding rate that we are going to get as we drill through the terrain. Now, in order to help me out with the time constraints, right? I'm just going to build this in parts, and then I'm going to bring you guys once we achieve the you know, some landmark on the build. So first I'm going to build a chassis where everything is going to sit. Okie dokie, so chassis wise we are going to have a 6-wheeled base. I think it's better to have 6 wheels instead of 4. Gives us more traction, more power, more stability, more everything. We are going to use 2 large cargo containers. Each large cargo container small grid is the equivalent in size to a small cargo container large grid, right? So it contains 23,000 units of storage or something, or 15. In this case it's 15, not 23. 23 is for the drills. Yeah, these things are the equivalent of that, which means we can fill up our mining vehicle with 2 full cargo containers of whatever ore we are trying to get. On the back we are going to have a connector, or on top, that remains to be determined. Now let me just put some wheels on this, weld the chassis up, and then we can talk about the drill system. Okay, so this is going to be the wheel setup. I'm not going to weld them for now, there is no need, but I had to move some blocks around because the wheels were interfering with each other. But now, as you can see, using the 5x5s, we have plenty of ground clearance. I'm not going to use the method that we used over here on the rover to create a descent to have some more ground clearance, because that is going to make the miner too tall. It works for the rover, but for the miner is not going to work. So we are going to use the bigger wheels to get ourselves the clearance that way. Now, as for the mining mechanism, I think we are going to do it like this. We have this hinge. I want a small hinge, please. Thank you very much. It is also kind from you. No. We want the big hinge. What the hell am I saying? The hell am I saying? Small hinge, big hinge. Small hinge, big hinge. So, I welded this one on just so I could see what kind of possibilities I have, and yeah, we're not going to have it like this large cargo container. This is the orientation of this large cargo. We have a large port over here, but as we discussed in previous episodes, converting from large grid to small grid is from large port to small port is a little bit tough on small grid, because of the way things are. But if we put it like this, we have a small port over there. So let me just weld this on. And now we can use the small hinge over here. This one already comes with a small port, and that's why I want to use it. Now I'm a tad bit afraid that this hinge might not have the strength to hold on to a set of very heavy drills, but we're gonna trust on it. We are going to try, right? This is an attempt. If it fails, well, then we try something else. Now, the idea here would be, right, we would put enough drills that we would be able to cover all the way over the wheels, right? Something like this. Maybe that's a little bit too many drills. I might remove the last bit. Oh, come on, I don't have the plates. Of course I don't. Of course I don't. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I might do that. Nah, let's make sure that we can have enough clearance for the vehicle to pass through. And yeah, we can set up a couple of limits on that hinge, and then we can have the drill do a sweeping motion back and forward, or in this case up and down, to extract as many materials as we possibly can out of the floor. And yeah, I think this would be good enough. We don't need to add any pistons or any rotors to this thing. It would only complicate it further, and I think that the simpler we can make this vehicle, the better. Alright, so the drills are all welded, and the hinge has not broken up yet, so I'm going to assume the hinge is going to be strong enough. If it fails, it fails. You know what? It's life. But we are going to hope that it doesn't. Now, as you might imagine, this vehicle is very forward heavy. We have all of these drills that contain in them a bunch of materials. So the vehicle might have a tendency to flip forward. That's why we are going to put the batteries in the back. Right, we are going to put as many materials, or in this case, that's not what I'm looking for. We are going to put as much stuff as we can over here on the back. In fact, I might even... I'm going to need one of you, not one of you. One of these, come on. Come on. I don't have... of course. But yeah, I'm going to add one of these to this side, or maybe a conveyor junction, something to create some more volume. I'm going to put the connector on the end of it, and then on the side I'm going to slap two batteries that should provide more than enough power to this thing. I'm going to hope so. And there we go, guys. This thing is starting to take shape. As we can see, the back is now a little bit weighted down. But it's not yet complete. There's still a few things left to add. Now, we cannot forget our best friend in the world, Mr. Gyro. Please, game. It's difficult because you need to point in the correct location. Come on. Come on. It's not how I want my gyro to be. You know what I want, just not giving it to me. And right next to him, what do we need? Of course, an iron, or in this case an ore detector. After all, we are going to be mining. It is a good idea to know where the stuff is. Right. Now, we still don't have anywhere to control the vehicle from, but that is about to change. We are going to put the cockpit right here on this side. How am I gonna do this? That is the most complicated part. Well, it's not super complicated. I'm just going to build like a bridge of sorts, something to hang the cockpit from, and then I just need to make sure that we have the right height for this. Let's go, something like this. There we go. We are unable to put it... oh no! Change of plans. Given that we cannot attach the cockpit from the top bit, we can always attach it through the back bit, right? So that's precisely what I'm going to do. I think this is more than enough clearance from the wheels. Yes, it is. We might have a small clipping here and there, but pretty sure nothing extremely terrible is going to happen, and this is, you know, not super tall, that the drills are not going to create a hole large enough for us to pass through. We have enough clearance from the side as the drills come, you know, all the way over here, and as we flip the drills up and down, the hole is going to be more than large enough. I'm going to assume that. That's an assumption that we are going to make when we build this, but if I'm wrong, as usual, we change the design until it fits our needs. Okay, so with the cockpit welded, this thing is now controllable. Of course, still has no wheels, but that's a problem for a little bit, of course. Now, to offset the weight that we have over here, because this thing is quite heavy, of course, we can either add another battery on top of that one, or we can add something else to that side. But truth be told, okay, when these two things over here get full with stuff, I don't think it is the weight of the cockpit that is going to make any freaking difference. But given that this terrain is so difficult to navigate, having this as center as freaking possible is always a good idea. So adding another battery to this side is going to pretty much offset all the weight that we just added by having the cockpit in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Besides, more battery capacity is always nice. It allows us to operate for longer. Alright, my friends, so this is the last wheel that needed to be welded. Technically speaking, this vehicle is maneuverable and it can work. So if I were to detach it from the grid over there, we could hop in and operate it as is. But it is not yet complete by any stretch of the imagination. We still need some lights, because if we are going to operate underground, it's kind of a good idea that you can see where you are going, right? Right. So, speaking about lights, now, just a tip for you guys. You have two types of lights. You have the interior lights and you have the spotlights. Frame-wise, the spotlights are far more consuming, because the spotlights create shadows, while the interior lights do not. So given that we don't need to illuminate all the way like 100 meters in front of us, the interior lights, which illuminate up to 20 meters I believe, will do just fine. What we are going to do, we are going to go over here, and I believe this is the correct spot. Yep, yes it is. And with these two lights we are going to be able to see pretty much everything that we need. If we add another one right over here, or in this case a couple of ones, to serve as reverse lights, and I'm pretty sure that just this will illuminate everything around us. Cool. After the lights are built, I'm going to take a little bit of time renaming everything, because we need to create some groups, obviously, and setting up some values for these wheels, and after that I think we can try this one out. Alright, my friends, I think the time has come for us to grind down this thingy, and now I have to grind this rotor down to finishing up a couple of touches. I cannot weld these things while this is attached. So let's just crouch, so we don't get how rude. So we don't get crushed by the vehicle. In fact, let me save the game so I don't get something extremely bad happening. Here we go. Don't kill me, please! I just brought you to life, please don't kill me. Come on, rotor part. There we go, fan-freaking-tastic. Now, I also decided to grind it out of the existing grid, so it is easier on me to create the groups. Before I rename anything, we need to name this thing, right? I need to say, well, drill from vehicle X, so when everything is connected to the grid I actually know what anything actually means, right? But what should I call this? So I think I'm going to take advantage of you guys, and I'm going to ask you, what name would you give to this vehicle? And given that you guys requested that I created a mining vehicle so much, I think it is fitting that you guys get to name it. So now let me just create a couple of groups. Come on, jump. Let me just create a couple of groups, and let's go and test this one out. Okay, I think I have all the groups now, so let's take a look. Obviously we have the drill group toggle lock on off. Very important, right? Then we are going to need to set up the wheel thingies. So, increase power. Where is the power? Increase power, decrease power. Right, these two very important. I can find them, of course. There we go. Then we need the suspension, which is strength. Increase strength and decrease strength. These two values really important. Decrease strength. There we go. To have, as they are very different when the vehicle is empty or full, and so it's quite useful to be able to change them using this thing, right? And then we can have the battery recharge on off, groups for the camera, obviously, and the connector. There we go. Switch lock. All of this very important. Now on the second thingy over here, I am once again going to put the drill groups over here, just for our convenience. Toggle block on off. And in here we are going to put the hinge, because we are going to want several commands. First command, toggle block on off. Second command, toggle the lock. Where is it? Where is int lock on off? Then we need the reverse, right? We are going to set a specific value to the a specific speed value to the hinge, and then we are going to control use that value to control the drills. If we want them to go up, we reverse the hinge, so the value gets to be positive. We toggle the lock off, and we toggle the block on. And we do the same, but we once again reverse, and the thing should go down. So hopefully this is going to work as I think it's going to work. But if it doesn't, well, once again, we'll come back to the drawing board. But I think this is all that we need. The unknown mining vehicle one is ready to be tested out. Okay, so let's take this thing out of the building path. Now, while driving on unfinished block, guys, be very careful, because vehicles don't like to drive on unfinished blocks. Let's just say it. Yeah, driving much better now on even uneven terrain. So, this thing is a monstrosity. Well, it's not a monstrosity in the sense that it is ugly, it's a monstrosity in the sense that it is big. And we have to drive it all the way up this mountain through very, very unfriendly terrain. Let's see if this thing is capable of reaching our cobalt deposit over there. So give me a moment. I promise that I'm going to try my best not to flip and crash this thing down the mountain, but I can't make any promises. Here we are, guys. We finally arrived. Now, one thing must be said. I need to find a good location to start drilling at, because, well, unlike a hand drill, we cannot exactly go down. Right, we have to approach this from the side and attempt to go down on a slight inclination, right, so that we can create a path to go up and down. But that requires us to kind of understand where the deposit is in relationship to the terrain, right? I think I have a mining hole around here somewhere. Yep, yes I have. Did I brought stuff with me this time? Yes, I have. Let's just mark this hole so I don't fall into it. There we go. So what we are going to do... Whoa, first we are going to try not to kill ourselves. We drop down, right? But we are going to go over here. We are going to create a GPS marker. GPS... interior... mine. Bam, right? This is going to help us out to understand where the deposit really is, because this marker that we get jumps all over the place as we move back and forward, right? Because it's showing us the closest part to the deposit. And I think if we approach through this plateau over here, through here, right, it's looking rather like a straight line, so yeah, I think I'm going to attack it through here. So on this hinge I'm going to set some limits of -15 and +15. I don't want this thing to go down too much, just in case I am not exactly looking at it from a good angle. I don't want it to clip through anything, right? But we need to test this out before we go in and start drilling, right? So right now the lock is on and the block is on, so let's Oh, I forgot. Speed. We need to give it some speed. Hinge. Hinge. We're going to give it a speed of 0.2 for now. A low speed so that we can control it easily. Right? That thing, in this precise moment, it's not moving simply because of the hinge lock, so the moment we take it off, it goes down. Cool. Let's see how much down we can get before we start clipping into things. Can we reach the lock limit? I think that's a little bit too much. Lock, 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 come on. Okay. I think it's not moving anymore. At first it can be a little bit confusing, even for me, who built this thing. Let's see, yep. Current limit, current thingy, current angle is the 15 angles that I have set up, and there is a slight touch between the wheels and the drill. Wait, what? Oh yeah, this suspension is slightly elevated, that's why. Okay, let's see, can I move this without too many issues? Oh yeah, I can. Cool, cool. I think this is more than enough to start drilling downwards. I think. Let's just line this up. Stop right there. Let's turn this on and see what happens. Can we attack the floor? I think that we can. Probably are doing some damage to it, right? Too much dust. Can't see shit. Well, at least we are gathering stone, so if we are gathering the stone, that means that we are probably removing it from the terrain itself. Okay, let's continue then. Oh, another thing that I can do also in a moment is... the suspension strength is already pretty lame, so that is not going to help out in any case. But we can do something different. I'm going to toggle these drills off. I'm going to go into block tools. We have drill and drill. Oh no. Drill and drill. What the hell is this? Okay, so if we go over here and press 8, I'm now pressing the right middle mouse button. Jesus, I'm sorry. I was pressing the right mouse button, not the middle one. And as you can see, I just removed a bunch of terrain. Oh shit. There we go. Oh, maybe that's a little bit too much, don't you think? And yeah, now we have our answer. We know how to drill down and create a ginormous hole, right? So we are going to try and push it up now. Press number 4. Let's raise the drills a little bit. Point them upwards into the sky so I can smooth the terrain between the hole that we made and the place that we are. We'll lock it again. Right click. Oh, that was far better. There we go. There we go. Much better transition, this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click it my way through this. Maybe I should even push this one up a little bit more. Okay guys, in any case, now I'm just going to be doing this for a little while and attempt to find the correct angle on these drills to which I get the smoothest transition possible. Well guys, I'm pretty much just letting gravity do the work for me. I have set up these drills as high as I could, 25 degrees, and now I'm pressing the up button in the arrow keys to use the... well, let me just try to back this down. If you take a good look at my rover, when I pressed the... Come on, just stop for a moment, please, Jesus. When I press the up key in the keyboard, not W, the up key, the rover does this motion upwards, as you can see. That is due to the gyro, so I'm using that plus the forces of gravity and having the drills pointed all the way up to the sky to drill my way down. And it was relatively rapid, to be perfectly honest, and the path is not that terrible. If we are careful going out of here, it's doable. So, yeah, here we go, guys. So we have our way into the mine. We can see a little bit of cobalt over there. I would say that the time is come for us to start collecting some cobalt. I'm just going to make this hole slightly bigger now. And truth be told, guys, spatial orientation, not exactly one of my strong suits. But, well, I'll have to make do. I'll have to make do. But yeah, now that I have created some space to myself, I'm even exposing more cobalt. Hopefully I'm not destroying too much of this stuff. There we go. Now I'm going to collect some cobalt. I just push myself into the rock. Now we left click. As we can see, we no longer destroy the terrain so easily, right? And I'm just going to collect all of this. Unfortunately, the sounds went away. But at least we are not going deaf. Now let's see, how much cobalt have I collected? Fair chunk. Fair chunk. That's not bad. I'm going to get rid of the stone in a little while, but for now, I'm just going to collect away. And the cool thing about this is that I am just sitting in here, not doing anything, and the hinge is doing all the job for me. As we can see, going slowly down, we are able to collect all of that material and create ourselves a little bit of a path. So let's just take a look, and look at that. Look at the amount of material that we already have. Pretty sure our refineries are going to be pretty happy with all of this. Okay, my friends, so the time has come. We should return to base now, and we are going to test if this vehicle is drivable downhill with a full load of stuff. This time we are going to bring the stone. This is a bunch of cobalt. I mean, we don't need all of it. So I'm just going to bring the stone to replace the cobalt that we would get if we just got rid of the stone and replaced it with cobalt. Is just for the weight situation, because if we look at the bottom right corner, we can see that this creation is now 104,000 kilograms, 104 tons of vehicle. Now it is matter of how much strength do the wheels need. Come on, I'm also stuck on something, I'm pretty sure. Come on, up that ramp. There we go. Whoa. Oh, yeah. You know what would help? This would help. This would help a lot. Yep. Here we go. It's not that difficult to get out of the mining hole. Here we go. Now let's park this thing right here. Let's decrease his suspension strength a little bit. There we go. We don't want the suspension to be super rigid. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. And I'm going to tag this place over here with a GPS marker, put a pole on it so that I know where it is. And then I'm going to make my way back home. So I will see you all in just a little bit. So I am applying brake, full brakes by the way, and I cannot stop this thing going downhill. That is not good. That is not good at all. This is a controlled fall. Jesus, this is so sketchy, guys. Oh my god, I'm going to flip myself and I'm going to explode in a fiery... We are parked. We are parked. Oof. This is sketchy. We made it. We made it back home, safe and sound. Nothing exploded and I didn't flip this a single time. It was a little bit sketchy in some moments, but well, it is doable. Going uphill empty and downhill full, not exactly a major problem. But I feel like this episode has dragged along quite enough now. I think we have achieved our objective, and we now have a completely functional mining vehicle. Next episode we are going to create a way to connect this mining vehicle to our base, and we are going to expand our logistics infrastructure. We are going to start welding all of these blocks because, well, we need to do that at some point, so you know, slowly but steadily, we'll get all of this platform welded off so that we can park these vehicles, because I'm not going to dare drive that thing up these unwelded blocks. It's a recipe to flip your vehicle upside down. So let's avoid doing that while we can, right? But with all of that said, guys, please remember, I'm counting on you to help me name this vehicle. And with that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!